welcome back to Not Another Pop Culture Pod. Hi, Dani. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We're doing things a little bit differently this week, aren't we?
We are, thanks to the Metrolink in Manchester not working at a weekend. Thanks for that, guys.
So me and
Means
Dani, we're not actually together, unfortunately, this week. We're doing this via Zoom. But that's kind of fun, actually. We have not done it before.
Yeah. It's experimental, isn't it? We'll see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully well.
Yeah. And you will hopefully be able to watch this on YouTube as well, and actually see our faces this week if you would like to do that.
Oh, lucky you. You'll even be able to see our bright orange drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
A Sunny D and an Iron Brew, obviously. Cheers. A classic.
Chin chin. But yeah, it's a bit weird doing it over Zoom, I think. Like, it's a bit strange not to be opposite you, but it's fine. We'll roll with the punches.
We'll get used to it, won't we?
I can't believe, though, that they did works on Derby weekend. Like, nobody could get the Met. The queue for the bus was insane.
Yeah. I didn't even want to attempt public transport this weekend, to be honest. Even on Friday night, I tried to get a tram somewhere on Friday night, and the tram just wasn't there. It didn't exist, the one that was supposed to be there. So, and like I didn't realize that they were doing work. So it makes sense now, like looking back on that.
It's so annoying. And what's even more annoying is me and my mum were going to go into town on Saturday. We got to the Met, tapped in, and then a guy came over and was like, they're not running. So, obviously we'd paid for an incomplete journey, but it's fine, I got a refund. But then when we came back to our car, when we had to drive in, my mum had a parking fine, but they charged her for the parking. So me and my emails. Don't even try and mess with me. I had not written one in so long. I was like, is this going to be dusty? Am I going to be bad at email? No.
No, were you on it?
She's still got the skills, so it's all good. We'll have to see how that one pans out. But yeah. 25 quid, I mean, don't even. It's 50 quid if you leave it like more than 14 days. But yeah, it's just an absolute rip-off.
I know. Oh, I've got my fingers crossed. Fingers crossed at the email gods,
I know.
Work the magic for you.
If not, I'll be on the phone, don't you worry. She's not afraid. She's fearless.
Of course, Sagittarius Dani could never.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Could never be timid.
No.
Right. So tell me, what is your pick of the week this week? I mean, there's lots to choose from. It's been another amazing sunny week.
Yeah.
You've been feeling better, so you've not.
I know, so much better this week. I think everyone that's listening will be able to tell the difference between me not sounding like I'm talking like this, and losing my voice. But my pick of the week this week. So a few weeks ago, my ick of the week was Love Is Blind season 2, if you remember. But I've been on a little like Love Is Blind sort of binge because I found out that there was a Love Is Blind Japan season, and that is my pick of the week this week. Oh, it's so cute. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Everyone on it was just adorable, and it just made me really happy watching it. I was just like, I've never like shipped couples. Well, that's a lie. I have shipped couples, like on TV and stuff when I was younger, but like not for a long time. If I really like watched, especially like a reality dating show and been like, oh, I really want those two to get together. But there were a couple of couples on this show that I was like really rooting for, and it was just really cute.
Oh, that's good that it's so different. Is it American, the normal one?
Yeah.
It's good that they actually liked each other. It sounds like the people on the American one this season hate each other.
It was a nightmare, honestly. And I'm all caught up on that now. And there was a reunion episode that came out the other day. And that, drama. So much drama.
Was it spicy?
It was, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Gotta love a bit of drama, haven't you?
Yeah. So I kind of like powered through the Japanese version. The couples that I wanted to be together were together. Like they got married. That was really cute.
Oh my God.
I'm now watching the Brazilian version.
Okay, how's that going?
Ooh, it's very spicy. Very spicy.
Okay.
Like the difference. So like on the American one, when the couples meet, they're obviously like happy and they have like a hug and a kiss. On the Japanese one, they were very like reserved, they would like bow. A couple of them might have kissed, most of them hugged and stuff. The Brazilian one, they're like literally making out with each other, grabbing bums and stuff. It's a different world.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Show some respect.
Very passionate people.
I know, apparently so. Well, you'll have to let us know how that one goes and whether there's any couples that you're a big fan of
next week, because I'll probably have binged it all. But
binge the whole thing.
Yeah, there's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It's not a lot for me.
Yeah, for you, no.
Yeah. So what's your pick of the week, Ben?
Well, you know what? Actually, thinking about it, surprisingly, it is also a series. So I know
she's watched TV.
Who is she? Has somebody taken over my body? So I was watching a Louis Theroux documentary. His new, I think it was like a 3-part series, maybe about it's like Forbidden America, I think. So when me and Joe put it on BBC iPlayer, I noticed a series called Mood. And I was like, oh, that sounds quite good. Like it talked about millennial culture. What else did it say? Oh, like social media and stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds like it could be right up my street, to be honest. It was so good. And when I found out that it was sort of written from a one-woman play, I loved it even more. And the main character is a girl, like in real life, she's called Nicole Lecky, and she's a performer and obviously a playwright in real life. So all the songs she sings in the show is her. And I was just like, this woman is like cool. Like she's cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too many spoilers just in case anybody wants to watch it. But I guess, as with anything with the BBC, it kind of has an undercurrent of like socioeconomic status, politics, things like that, which I was definitely here for. And it kind of delved deep into the world of sex work, which I found really, really interesting in terms of like, at what point are you a sex worker kind of thing? So it had like its own version of Daily Fans, OnlyFans called Daily Fans. Because obviously I don't think they'd be allowed to use like OnlyFans on the show. Not. But it was about, how far you'll go to make it, how far, how true to yourself are you being if you do things that everybody else is doing, but you don't actually want to do it. And I just thought it's very deep, it's very moody, really not my usual sort of thing. Like normally I'm like, if it's not all sunshine and rainbows, then I don't want to watch it. But it was so, so good. I really, really enjoyed it and would highly recommend it to anybody that's, I guess, around our age. Like any millennial, I think would like really, really relate to all the characters within it. And I think everybody's got a bit of each character within them. And I think that's why it worked so well. But yeah, I loved it.
Oh, I definitely.
Absolutely loved it.
Definitely be checking that one out, adding it to my list.
Add it to the endless to be watched list.
Yeah. And then probably go and rewatch something I've already seen 10 times.
Well, if it brings you happiness, then why not?
Exactly.
Now, talking about things which don't bring us happiness, what's your ick of the week?
Oh, so I think you've seen it. It's a music video. It's Kanye West's music video for Easy. But yeah, so you've seen it, right? In which first of all, the main reason it's my ick is because it contains claymation, and I really hate claymation. Like, I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like it. But so like Kanye West's character in the video kidnaps Pete Davidson and then like beheads him or like buries him alive or something with his head sticking out of the ground. I don't know. It's just disturbing, to be honest. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think as well, like watching Twitter's reaction to it was everyone's worried for him at this point.
Yeah.
I think he keeps doing more and more outrageous stuff, and people can't make an excuse for it anymore.
No. It's quite scary, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you watched his documentary?
No, like, to be honest, I was never really like that big of a Kanye fan anyway, that I would feel like, the need to watch a documentary about him, like even before all this recent, stuff that's been going on with him and Kim and Pete, like I might watch it, if I've got time, if I find myself with nothing to watch, but I'm not like rushing to watch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, one of Joe's friends said to me, maybe if you watch it, like you'll understand more about him. But I'm kind of struggling to see like what could possibly be revealed in this documentary that would let me excuse his behavior of recent months and weeks. Like, it does get to a point, doesn't it, where it's like what you're doing is just wrong, and that's just the way that it is. Like, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it's like putting trauma onto other people. Yeah,
exactly. People that haven't necessarily even done anything wrong.
Yeah.
We
don't know, do we? So what's your ick of the week?
Do you know what? It's a quite general one. And I'm going to sound like such a bitter bitch for saying this. But do you know what? I just can't stand. It's not a TV program. It's not any type of media. It's literally public displays of affection.
Oh, I agree.
I just can't. What?
Have you seen one? Have you seen? I was going to say, have you seen one?
I was in Primark. And the queue was like up and down, up and down, up and down the shop. And I was just like, I was returning something and I was like, can I be bothered? Kind of ummed and ahed a little bit, like, was it worth waiting, for £8? Decided, I'd passed the point of no return and I was going to just do it. But the whole time I was behind this couple that were just insistent on like kissing and like holding
in
each
the
other
queue at Primark.
In the queue. And I was just like,
no.
Do you know what? I understand like you might love each other. Like, can it just wait till you're somewhere else? Like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anybody that loves public displays of affection. Like, sure, holding hands and cute little glances at each other. And I'm like, oh, they're a really cute couple. Like, they look really happy or they look really nice together or whatever. But if you're full on necking in the queue in Primark, please, I don't want to see it.
I think the only excuse for public kissing is when you're drunk. And even then it's like
or when you're married and on your wedding day.
You
may now kiss the bride.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Not just out and about on the streets, in the shops.
I could just feel my blood starting to boil and I'm like, please stop. And
it's just a bit too much, isn't it?
I know. And so many people will be like, oh, she's so bitter. And I'm like, no, I'm not bitter. I just don't want to watch someone.
I'm sure you and Joe could have been, necking off in the queue if you wanted to be, but you choose not to.
Exactly. God. Save it for the bedroom, guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, not the one. But if they're in love,
good for them.
I'm happy for them. Speaking of love, oh my gosh, today I've just finished the book Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. It was a ride. It was so sad. Like, it's a dual narrative story and things just get hella messy. I mean, it's a happy ending, so we're kind of forgiving Colleen Hoover for writing this book because it's not.
Is it one of those? It's like POV from like guy and girl.
So it's the main characters are obviously like you say, the guy and the girl, and like the girl's point of view is in the present day, and most of the boys' POV is from 6 years ago. Ooh. When some like really deep dramatic stuff happens. I mean, I called what happened before it actually happened. Like, I knew from about chapter 4 what was going to happen. I was like, I'm not dumb. I know the way that this woman writes at this point. But it was still a shock. And it's still, all her books so far have made my like eyes well up, but I haven't actually cried, because so many people will like get the tissues, but I don't know, it's seldom that I'll cry at a book, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. That
Like,
kind of like splitting like the point of view, it really reminds me of like the fan fictions that I used to read. And I was thinking about this last week when we talked about what book was it? The Hating Game? Is that what it's called? And then like we were then talking about other books, weren't we? And the author Christina Lauren, like author, that's like two people. I then realized Christina Lauren used to write Twilight fan fictions that I used to read.
Oh my God. I love that so much.
When I was a teenager. But yeah, like a lot, because that's all I read was like Twilight fan fictions. I never was into like the Harry Potter fanfic or anything. Exclusively a Twilight gal. But a lot of them that I read would be like one chapter from Bella's point of view, one chapter from Edward's point of view, and like stuff like that.
Oh my God, I love Christina Lauren so much. Look at what I've got here waiting for you for when the Mets finally start running.
What is it? Oh, autobiography. Very excited to read that.
So good. Highly, highly recommend.
So I have to ask though, like, is Christina Lauren now? Because I don't think I've read anything by them recently. Is it like YA fiction that they write?
So wait, was it them that wrote Unhoneymooners?
What I'm basically asking is, how smutty is it? Because the Twilight fan fictions used to be like smutty.
So Unhoneymooners is quite like smutty, I guess. But autobiography is a YA.
Right. So okay. So they're writing like a few different, yeah.
So it's not, it is very character driven, very, you know, rather than being like scenario based, like a fanfic, I guess, would be, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's, no one cares about the character development if you're reading.
Well, they already like know the characters, really, don't they?
Exactly. So yeah, it is definitely different to some of that other stuff, but I like the way they write, and I love the way that their books are presented as well. It's so easy to read. Like I read that in literally a day, purely for the fact that the font is so nice, the spacing is perfect, and it sounds really lame, but it's just
things like that are important, aren't they? Like exactly, I remember in school, you know, you read those like Penguin books or whatever, like Jane Eyre, and it's like the tiniest font, like zero spacing between the lines. Everything is just blurring together.
Exactly. If they just put that into an aesthetic format, maybe more people would want to read classics. It's not hard to republish Wuthering Heights in font 12 rather than font 6. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Speaking of,
let's start a petition.
Classics, well, it's not really classics, but you know, well-known authors. I am currently reading an Agatha Christie novel, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. It's a Poirot, and it's my first Agatha Christie novel that I've ever read.
Interesting. I've never read an Agatha.
So do you know what? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the reason that I've actually never picked up an Agatha Christie is because I've seen a lot on the internet that apparently she's a raging racist.
Oh no.
There was oh my gosh. So one of the titles of her books, she rewrote the title, but the original title has a racial slur in. And after I saw that, I was like, I don't think I can take her seriously, like, ever.
Oh, I didn't know that. I hadn't seen that anywhere.
Finish reading that book. Donate it to charity.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't.
No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say my old flatmate gave me this. Lucy, who is like the biggest Agatha Christie fan ever, and like me and her used to like sit and watch, you know, like Poirot on TV together. We used to like rewatch all the ITV like David Suchet Poirots together.
I think it's really interesting though, isn't it? I think everybody has a different opinion about whether you can separate art from the artist
Yeah,
type
definitely.
thing. So whether somebody can be super problematic and hold genuinely awful opinions, like whether that has any bearing on whether people can enjoy what they've done in the past. It's definitely something that I struggle with. Like, I know on Bookstagram, for example, J.K. Rowling divides people like never before, because half the people are like, oh, I love Harry Potter books, you know, they're my comfort books, they're my comfort films, I need to have them in my life because, you know, Harry Potter saved me, all this kind of thing. And then on the other camp, you've got people like, trans people's lives are more important than your comfort books, you know, J.K. Rowling's an awful person, you know, how could you ever support her? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is deep.
Yeah, it is quite deep, isn't it?
Transphobic people can like bog off though, in the words of Tracy Beaker.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's all about as well, sort of like like who's profiting from it. So, like as an example, Agatha Christie is like long dead now, isn't she? So
yeah.
So I think like, you know, she's not like profiting if I go and buy an Agatha Christie book. But if I was to go out and buy, you know, a Harry Potter book now, J.K. Rowling would profit from that. So I would never go out and buy, like me personally, after what J.K. Rowling said and her opinions and how I think just disgusting her opinions are, to be honest, I would never go out and like purchase one of her books knowing that she would profit off that, if that makes sense.
100%. I mean, she is definitely a no-go zone for me. I mean, I was never a Harry Potter fan overly anyway. Like, I think I liked it when I was about 9. But I personally thought like after the 4th book, it all went downhill from there, hon. But you know, that's just my opinion. And some people genuinely love it. But I'm trying to think of like other people, you know, that are similar. I guess a really current one, and we seem to mention him about 100 times a day, he'll think we're obsessed with him, is Kanye West. Like, can you listen to his music knowing what he's doing to Kim Kardashian?
Like similarly to like R. Kelly, some people would still listen to R. Kelly. That, like, obviously I've had bands that, being like a pop punk emo kid, there are so many bands like within that scene where there's been allegations of assault and stuff. Like, one of my favorite bands when I was a teenager was Brand New, and their lead singer had like sexual assault allegations. And I hate to be that person that's like, their music saved me, because it didn't save me from anything, but it was just very important to me. And I did find it very like comforting at like a young age, but I try really hard not to listen to it now. Like, there's only certain times when I'm feeling like really, really sad that there's like one song I really want to listen to, I'll go and listen to it, but I actually don't really want to engage with it anymore because of the allegations and things like that.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? And people will say like, oh, it's millennials and their cancel culture or whatever. But I think if your words are inciting hatred towards a particular group of people, that is really, really problematic.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see how it could be more problematic. You know, J.K. Rowling is insanely transphobic. She goes as far to say as like, people only transition in order to like assault women in public bathrooms. Why does it always come back to like public bloody bathrooms when it's like, it's so weird. You know, it takes so much guts, courage, everything to accept that there's something that's not sitting quite right with yourself and that you want to transition into another gender or whatever. How could you possibly say that somebody is doing that in order to gain access to more women? If she speaks her argument out loud, does she not think I sound like a dick?
She sounds deluded, absolutely deluded. And then it's like, you know, I still love the Harry Potter movies. I'm not gonna lie, like I watched one last weekend, I just put one on, but like I said, I would never go out and like purchase something of hers. But I think if you already have you know, like if you own them on like DVD or whatever, or if you like pirate them, if you don't want to head to profit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not telling you to do illegal activities. Just kidding. But yeah.
It is a tough one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have so many thoughts on it. And I think my thoughts on it, they don't change as in I always think that if someone's problematic, like that's just the way that it is. Obviously, people can change, but until people come out and say like, oh, look, sorry, I was awful. I should never have said this. And I don't want to see the fact that you've just purchased the whole collection of Harry Potter books. Do you know what I mean? Send them back. Yeah. Speaking of books, at the minute, I've just started today a book called Clara and the Sun. It was nominated for the Booker Prize last year, and it's about a artificial intelligence robot. Like it's called an AF, an artificial friend, and I just feel like it's going to be so cool. Like it's going to sort of open up my eyes to the sci-fi genre.
Yeah,
maybe.
I was gonna say like I don't really like hear you reading sci-fi like that much. To be honest, I don't really read sci-fi that much. Like I couldn't tell you the last sci-fi book that I read. I watch sci-fi shows and movies and stuff, but I think books it's just not really, I don't know. I think maybe just books that are like aimed at our like generation, and for women especially, you don't really get a lot of sci-fi books in that kind of demographic.
No, I mean, I am reading it for work book club, but I think it's going to be quite good. I'm really intrigued to see what it's about. I don't think I've ever read a sci-fi before, just for the fact that I wouldn't normally pick up sci-fi at all. Although having said that, it's obviously not sci-fi, but I have got more into fantasy recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do like a good fantasy book nowadays. I've just bought one called The Atlas Six, and it's about like 6 magicians and only 5 are going to survive. And I'm like,
oh, I saw the picture you put on Instagram. That book just looks beautiful. Like the sprayed edges. Oh my goodness.
It was the sprayed edges that did it for me. And then I read it
resist,
and I was like, I know. The book I'm reading at the minute, Clara and the Sun, is sprayed edges too. And the front cover is so simple. It's just got a little sun in the corner. But on the sprayed edge version, I've got the sun goes round the side as well. And I'm like,
nice.
She's a sucker for a sprayed edge. Yeah. Waterstones need to like hire me as some sort of like rep.
Yeah, I know. You should do like the window displays and put like the nicest books in there.
Oh, can you imagine?
I think
that'd be so much fun.
I mean, I don't know why you picked up True Crime Story, but the reason I picked it up is because I walked past you know, the really big Waterstones in Manchester. It's like the biggest in the country or something, is it?
Wait, which one? The one on Deansgate?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's like the biggest Waterstones in the country. And I walked past it and they just had a window chock full of True Crime Story with those bright pink sprayed edges. And I was like, I need to go in and find out what this book is. They knew what
Did you buy the sprayed edge version?
Yeah, I bought the sprayed edge signed version, didn't I?
Oh, nice. Yeah. I bought it because you recommended it, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you were like, it's so good. You'll really like it. And I was like, oh, okay. If you insist, Sean, I'll buy another book. What an effort.
And was I wrong? No, I was not.
No, so good. Mm-hmm. Ugh, loved it. Yes, absolutely adored it. 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, definitely. Foxy Noxy, one of the best books. We'll probably talk about this book like every 2 weeks because we both loved it so much.
Yeah, so good. We still need to buddy read The Smiling Man.
I know.
Like maybe after you finish this book, or you're like 100 pages off finishing this one, give me like a little warning and we can then buddy read it together.
Yeah, I feel like I'm back on a crime, you know, like I'll get into my crime mode again. In fact, I never really got out of it because the last book that I read in full was Sirens. And then I finished that. I picked up The Virgin Suicides, read 10 pages and then just couldn't go on. There was nothing to do with the book. It wasn't that the book wasn't interesting. It was just
not your thing, ATM.
I think sometimes I get like, I'd only read crime books. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd read like 4 in a row crime books or something, and then I couldn't get out of that headspace.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Sometimes I do that with romance and I'm like, this is the fourth soppy, cheesy romance I've read in a row. Like, but I'm here for it.
Oh,
Speaking of sirens,
crime.
though.
You go first.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of sirens, it caused such a stir in our workbook club. Like, 2 people that came to the discussion said they hated it. And one of them was like, I'm scared to come to Manchester.
Oh,
It made me laugh so
it definitely
much.
like does paint a very like dark, gritty picture of Manchester that, I don't know, it's not what you would see like walking out and about in the city.
Are you sure?
Well.
I've heard everybody in Manchester is a murderer. Secretly. We're all Villanelle.
Oh yeah, well, I don't even know. I can't even talk about that because I've never watched Killing Eve. I know, the biggest TV person ever. I've never watched Killing Eve. Dani's stunned in silence, absolute silence.
How? I'm actually angry at you. Right, after this, you have to go and watch it. It's iconic, literally iconic.
I know. It's one of those things though, like now I know that it's coming to the last season, I'll probably binge watch it all once it's out. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing.
Yeah.
I think the thing was like, I don't really watch actually a lot of BBC stuff or stuff that's like actually on TV, because all I really tend to watch is Netflix or Prime or Disney Plus. I think it's because for a long time I didn't have like a TV signal. Like I couldn't sit down and just like watch TV, and I wouldn't always think to go like looking for stuff on iPlayer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jodie Comer alone is a reason enough to watch it, and the outfit choices are just like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single outfit that she wears, even if it's like scruffy or whatever, it serves some sort of purpose. And she's one of those people that I'm sat there like, you could look good in a bin bag, and I'm annoyed actually.
Yeah, I will get around to watching it. Oh, what I was going to say before was, speaking of crime and murder mystery.
Have you committed one?
Not yet. But I'm doing a murder mystery thing at the weekend.
That is so exciting.
I'm really looking forward
to
it. I don't really know like how it works, but all I know is it's this thing called Clued Up, and they do it around the country. I'm not doing it in Manchester. I'm going back to my hometown to do it with, get this right, my mum, my 3 aunties, and one of my cousins who's like in her, I think she's in her 40s, so I'm going to be the youngest one there, but I feel like I'm being accepted into the group now, you know, of like I'm getting older and it's my time to start hanging out with the aunties.
Oh, you can talk about the rising cost of living.
Yeah. How hard it is to be a millennial, and they'll be like, what? I bought my house.
Well, in our day.
No,
yeah,
but
that's good.
I'm looking forward to it. So I have no idea how it works. All I know is that we have to dress up and we literally like walk around the town centre and find clues and stuff, and there's like an app or something. But we're dressing up as the Cluedo characters because we thought that
you've
would be
got
fun.
Lots of blue because your mum's been buying you blue
because I'm Miss Peacock, I think she's called. So yeah, my mum was like, buy something blue, and then I was really ill and I didn't leave my flat for like 2 weeks, and then my mum just kept sending me pictures like, I bought you this, it's blue. I bought you a jacket that's blue. I bought you a skirt. I'm like, okay, cool.
Thank you.
Save me the trouble.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Oh, that does sound like so much fun. Like I've always wanted to do something like that, but maybe not like a wandering around the town centre one. You know, like you see in films, like a big long grand table and everyone's like sat there like having a dinner.
I've done like a couple of murder mystery like parties, you know,
have
like
you?
In someone's flat, and
even that sounds fun.
Yeah, I think I've done about 3 of those, and then you get like
no way.
You kind of like get assigned characters, and I think it's like you don't know who the murderer is gonna be or who's been murdered, I think, like until you like shuffle cards and then you put them in like an envelope, but everyone's got like scenarios. And so I did one that was like a movie stars one at my friend's hen do. I can't remember who I was supposed to be. I think I was meant to be like Demi Moore. That was all right. That was quite fun, but it was a bit chaotic. Then I did one that was like 70s themed.
Oh,
that was really fun. I wore like big flared jeans, did all my hair like curly, and then we did a Christmas themed one like 2-3 years ago, so that was good. Like we all dressed up like in red and green Christmassy colors, and it was just like a standard murder mystery. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, definitely. We should do one. Maybe like around my birthday.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you should do it for your birthday. Yeah. That'd be fun. You're gonna have to have a birthday month though.
I do. Like people want me everywhere for it, honestly. My mum wants me to have a whole party thing back home. I think we might have talked about this last week. And then one of my friends was like, we should book a lodge or something. And then, I just got a lot of people. I just know a lot of people. It's not a bad thing.
Up in your DMs.
Yeah, they are.
Oh no, it'll be fun, and I think you'll have a really good time at the murder mystery event, because it's definitely like right up your street, isn't it, with all the crime vibes going on
and like puzzles and things and working things out. And speaking of that, actually, last night I went to see The Batman at the cinema, and it was right up my street
with our Rob.
That beautiful man, honestly. Yeah, I was a big fan. Fan. It was very long.
Him or the film?
Both. It's so funny. I don't know if you saw it put on Twitter the other day. Like, I remember when they announced that they cast Robert Pattinson as Edward Cullen in the Twilight movies, and I looked at pictures of him. I was like, who is this man? I was like, not my Edward. I just couldn't picture him as Edward. And then
really,
yeah, look at me now. Like, massive fan.
Obsessed.
He's a Taurus. Did you know? Your favorite kind of people.
I knew that there was a reason I didn't like him.
Do you actually not like him?
No.
Oh my god. Oh, I love him.
Not my cup of tea, darling. I mean, he's fit, but there's just something about his vibe that I'm like, stay away from me.
He was given such emo vibes in The Batman. Honestly, it was like big, like black hair fringed. Like,
I was gonna say, I've seen the pictures, and
like black eyeliner smudged everywhere. I was like, ooh. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman was also so hot. Like both of them together. Yeah. Have you seen all the like magazine shoots they've been doing together?
I think I might have seen them on a catwalk or something together on Instagram, but no, he's not my Edward and he's not my Batman. I'm sorry.
But no, I really enjoyed the film. Like, it was a long film. It was like nearly 3 hours, but it didn't feel that long to me. Like, when I was normally, if I'm at the cinema for like a long time, I'm fed up. I want to leave. Like, I need to go to the toilet or something. I was sat there. I was engaged with it the whole way through.
So you didn't go for any wheeze?
No, I didn't even need to. And I had a whole Tango Ice Blast, and I drank it all during the trailers.
What? No. Yeah. If I drank something that fast, I'd be like off to the bathroom in like half an hour.
No. Bladder of steel, apparently.
Well, you've got a bladder of steel, but only where Edward is concerned.
I didn't want to miss a second of Robert Pattinson. But no, it was like, I've seen a lot of like discourse about the film, and so many people hate it. So many people said like the pacing was really bad. I thought the pacing was great. Like, I stayed engaged for the whole like near 3 hours. There were bits of it that were like I thought were a bit cringy, which didn't quite maybe turn out the way like the director had intended it. But like, I would say I really liked the Dark Knight trilogy with Kristen Bell and Heath Ledger, etc. And I was like a bit, thinking like, is this going to measure up to it? I personally really liked it and thought it was almost as good as those.
Yeah. Well, Joe said to me he was going to go watch it tomorrow with one of his friends, and I said to him, you do realize it's almost 2 hours, don't you? 3 hours. And he was like, what? Like, his face just fell, and I was like,
tell him it doesn't feel like that. Tell him it doesn't feel like that.
He's going tomorrow. Well, he's me and him aren't together tomorrow because I'm going home to my mum and dad's to watch the Drag Race UK versus the World final tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I am buzzing. I actually can't wait. Like, I don't care who wins at this point. I mean, Bag of Chips has my heart, but you know, if she doesn't win, it's fine because I'm going to see her at Drag Bingo, and I just can't wait.
That'll be fun. I know.
Oh, I'm just obsessed. Anything RuPaul related, I'm like.
So you and Joe will be watching two very different things tomorrow.
Potentially, yes. Mm-hmm. Mine's very campy.
Also,
his is very emo.
Do you know what I really liked about it? Is obviously the main villain in it is the Riddler. So I felt like I was solving the riddles faster than Batman at some points. Like the very first riddle that I came on, I got it in like 2 seconds, and then like Batman sees the riddle, then like 2 minutes later he's like, oh, this is the answer. I'm like, come on, Batman, speed up. But
like, I worked that out ages ago.
What was for me, what I really liked about it is it wasn't like an origin story. It wasn't like showing you Batman as a kid, but it was like, here's Batman. He's only been doing this for like a couple of years or something. He's still quite new and he's still learning, and he wasn't he wasn't like the perfect Batman, you know. He like had awkward moments where he like was fighting with people and he would like stumble and fall, and you know, he was still like fearful of things. Like at one point he's like at the top of a building and he like nearly falls off, and you can see he's actually like, whoa. And I just quite liked that. I thought it was just a bit something different to this like very polished like playboy Batman that we see like in every single film. And this is my thing with like superhero movies, like if you're going to keep remaking the same superhero over and over again, you need something different, because I don't want to, like, if I wanted to watch the Dark Knight trilogy again, I'd just go and watch it again. Do you know what
exactly
I mean?
That's why they need to do something a little bit different to keep you hooked. Like, having said that, I'm not really into, you know, like obviously long films, you know, Batman, all that kind of thing doesn't really interest me that much. I'm not really a superhero kind of girl. However, I will say that I absolutely loved the Joker. Like, I thought that film was so clever, and I thought that Joaquin Phoenix was genuinely so
I've not
good.
Actually
like,
seen it, you know.
It's so good.
Like, it's one of those.
If I'm saying that, you need to go and watch it. Like, because you know, I'm a very tough crowd when it comes to that sort of thing. You know, I'm not easily pleased. But yeah, it was menacing. It was creepy. It was very. I feel like you'd enjoy it a lot because it's quite moody and a bit scary.
So my vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Emo.
It's quite emo. Raw.
Speaking of, last week, like on Friday, me and Lily went to see Taken Back Sunday and Alkaline Trio live, and it was like it just took me back to like my youth.
Was it nostalgic as hell?
It was very nostalgic, yeah. Especially like Taken Back Sunday. I've seen them twice now, and I don't think they're necessarily like the best live band, but I think it's just like you hear songs that just like trigger something. I feel like music's just very powerful like that sometimes, and it just takes you back to being a teenager, and like you said, just very nostalgic. Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, that's good. I do love a bit of nostalgia in music. Like, sometimes I'll just randomly have light bulb moments and be like, oh my gosh, they existed. Oh my gosh, they were such a big part of my childhood. Like, what's that about? Like, I had one the other day with All Time Low. I completely forgot they existed. And then I was just like, oh my God, this is literally the soundtrack of when I was like 13, 14. Like, that's absolutely mad.
A little bit pop punk there. Pop punk Princess Dani.
I know. Pop punk Princess Dani. No, actually, my first email address was princess-Dani because somebody had already stolen Princess Dani.
Rude.
I hope they're happy.
Do you know what? My dad made my first email address for me, so it was just my name and a 2 on the end. I still have it to this day.
Really? The same one?
Yeah, because it was just so normal and just like so grown up. But I use it as like my I have like about 10 million different email addresses, but I have like that one I send all my like junk stuff to it, you know, or I'll sign up for like social media and stuff through that one. And then I have one which is more like I use to apply for jobs and for important things, you know, like bills and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember my boss telling me like one of the first things that they look at when someone sends in a job application is their email address.
Yeah.
So if your email address was like dirty ho 111, they'd be like, no, we don't care how much industry experience she has, like, you know, we're not interested.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm so glad that my one now is so normal, like it's literally just my name. But in between Princess Dani and my current one, I was Dani Daydream.
Oh, I feel like because for me though, like a lot of my friends I always thought their email addresses were so cool because they were like the MSN email addresses, you know, and they had like all like X's and stuff like this, and it like a little X and a big X and then an underscore and then your name wasn't. And then they'd also have like really cool screen names on MSN. Yeah.
Nudge
I
me.
found out today that have you ever used Letterboxd? It's like you probably won't because you don't watch films, but it's kind of like Goodreads for movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've had an account on there for ages, and I only realized today when they sent me an email that I spelt my own name wrong in my username. So instead of Sian, I've spelt it Suan, and I can't change it. Sian. I can't change the username, so I'm just stuck being Sian now.
Oh no, Sian. Sean, it's okay.
I get like fed up when other people spell my name wrong, and now who's done it? I've done it to myself.
To be fair, the I and the U are next to each other, Sian.
I probably like typed it on my phone really fast, but it's just the fact that I've only just noticed it today, even though I've had that account for months.
It's like when other people call me Kate, and I'm like,
yeah. To be fair though, you do got to be having your middle name all the time.
Yeah, but there's literally a name before the middle name.
True.
So I'm just like, how is the Danielle not registering to you before the Kate? Like it happened to me the other day. I got a delivery and the guy was like, Kate, and another guy that lives in this house, like in a different flat, looked at me like, have you been lying about your name? Because obviously he knows my name's Danielle, but he doesn't know I'm Danielle Kate, because why would he? Mm-hmm. So he just looked at me a bit like, and I was like, my middle name. It's okay. I'm not lying about my identity.
Not undercover, not lying to you.
Joke, I am undercover. I'm an undercover superstar. What can I say?
Of course. That sounds like a book I would have read as a child.
I actually think, I'm not going to sing it obviously because sued, but Undercover Superstar is defo a song that was on the Disney Channel.
Oh, is it
I'm pretty
like
sure. Of like Camp Rock or something. Maybe something like that. I'm actually going to like look it up now.
Did you ever read those books when you were a kid that were like, my teacher's a rock star and stuff like that? Oh, they were so fun. It was basically like your teacher was like Hannah Montana living a double life or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but they had all different ones. So there was like, my teacher's a rock star. I think one was like, my teacher's a wrestler. And it was all these like primary school teachers moonlighting in different jobs.
Oh my gosh, that sounds right up my street. Undercover Superstar was from That's So Raven.
Oh my gosh, That's So Raven. Love that. Was about to sing it, but again,
you can't.
It's not even about getting sued, actually. It's more just like, you don't want to hear me sing.
You can't sing. Oh, it made me laugh when Lily tweeted that Raven Simone was a Sag. Just then, just literally that. Like, the whole world makes sense now because we know.
Yeah, it definitely.
And everything can just fall into place and everyone can just be content in the knowledge.
Do you know what? That's one thing that, like, it's probably taken it too far with the astrology thing, but when you're watching a TV show or like a movie or something, and then I'm always wondering, like, I wonder what their star sign is. And
I always look up.
If they don't match up, I'm like, this doesn't sit right with me. Like, a good example is Sex and the City. Carrie Bradshaw is a Libra, and like I see that. I very much see that.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sit here and lie and say that I've ever watched Sex and the City because I've not. But yeah, Carrie Bradshaw seems quite outrageous though, from what I've heard.
She just likes, you know, shoes and men.
Cool. I can get behind that too. Two things that you love too. Must be a Libra thing.
Exactly. Well, to be fair though, I mean, her shoe obsession is a bit taking it too far.
A bit OTT.
Yeah. But I feel like, you know, if I loved shoes that much, I probably would also spend all of my money on them.
True. It's like when I looked up the star signs of the Bratz, and on every website it's obviously different, but like it kept coming up that Jade was a Sag because she worked for a newspaper, you know, like for the magazine, and she was like confident, outgoing, bold, takes risks. And I was like,
oh wait, was there a Libra one? I bet there wasn't.
I don't know, maybe. I feel like Yasmin's quite Libra, maybe. She's very chilled, isn't she? I don't know. You'll have to have a look.
We've descended into
astrology. It's like the other night, me and Joe were just like in bed, and we were like Googling BuzzFeed quizzes. Which Pokemon are you?
Oh, who did you get?
Like, Squirtle.
Oh, so cute.
I know. And Joe got this one that neither of us had like. Well, we'd seen it, but we hadn't like heard of it properly. So he was fuming that he didn't get any main character energy. It was like a pink, kind of like fox looking. Oh no, sheep. It was a sheep, like a pink sheep.
Yeah, I can't.
With like some off the top of black and yellow vibes on it. I don't know. I think it's one of the electricity ones, but I'm happy to be Squirtle, to be honest. Yeah. Like water baby and all that jazz.
I saw something that was like, in fairness, I was Googling like, what Pokemon are you based on your star sign? But everyone had different every website had like different opinions on it. Like one said I was a Pikachu based on my star sign, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that.
Well, Pikachu's hella cute, so you have to take that. Yeah, I feel like true. All the like OG ones are well cute, like Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander are absolutely.
Eevee is my favorite. I love Eevee.
We know that.
We know.
You want to capture all those Eevees.
I do, but then I do feel bad catching them as well. I've got to.
Well, you better be nice to them. Yeah.
I'm a conservationist, nice. Pokemon conservationist.
Yes, you know Joe Exotic for Eevee.
Oh, no.
Keeping them trapped.
Oh, my dad sent me the other day. They've made like a biopic about Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin. Like it's called like Joe vs. Carol or something. It's like a drama acted series.
Nobody asked for that.
But I haven't like watched it. I haven't seen a trailer. All I know is that Carol Baskin's being played by a comedian called Kate McKinnon, and I'm like, okay, so is this a comedy? I don't get it. Yeah,
how strange.
I don't know.
Well, I can safely say that the days of Tiger King are firmly over for me because it gives me PTSD from the start of the pandemic. Yeah, and that's just definitely the way that it is.
I feel like if it had come out at any other time,
no one would have cared.
I think it would have been like a big internet thing, but I think just because we had nothing else really going on at the time, like
everyone was just drinking gin and watching Tiger King.
Yeah, I found out today. So like during lockdown, me and my flatmate, Lucy, at the time, like her boyfriend and his flatmate, we used to do like Zoom parties like every week because they couldn't see each other, and we always were like trying to figure out ways to listen to the same music at the same time, because one of the games that we played was like a drinking game with music, and we kind of had to be listening to the same song, and we went through all these like different methods. Like we downloaded different apps and stuff to figure out how to be listening to the same music at the same time. Found out today that on Spotify you can just do that now. Like you can just
like a
host
listen party.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I know. I just wish we'd have had it like 2 years ago, because
that's when
maybe
that's why they created it.
Probably
because they realized there was an actual demand for it.
But you can actually hang out with people now in person, so it's not really
touch wood.
Yeah, there's not really the same need, hopefully, again in the future.
Oh, goodness gracious me, I hope not. Oh, can you imagine?
We'll be hosting the podcast via Zoom forever.
No, don't say that. No. That would be kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going back to a lockdown now?
I don't want to imagine it. I feel like, even because I've not even been into the office for like, I don't think I'm going to be in the office this week. This will be like my 3rd week not in the office in a row. And I'm like, please, just, I want to go in and see people like at least one day.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, like working from home like all the time, I need to go out and socialize with people, either in the evening, on my lunch, you know, at the weekend, because otherwise now I feel like I'd be like, but we were before. You forget, don't you? It's like a trauma response, isn't it? Like you forget everything that went on. But that's not going to happen.
No,
hopefully
it's not.
It's fine. And hopefully next podcast episode we will be
reunited,
because the Mets will hopefully actually be running.
Yeah.
And everything will be recorded from one room, which will be nice.
Yeah. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the podcast, unless you've got anything else.
No, I don't think so. No? Let's just hope that the sun keeps shining and just try to do at least one thing per day that makes you happy.
Oh, good advice.
Stay hydrated.
As always. Oh, that's something that I don't do. I've got my brew here. Should probably substitute that with water, shouldn't I?
Well, it's the evening, it's fine. And
that's true.
Yeah, make sure you eat lovely, delicious and healthy, nutritious meals.
I'm going to go cook a big bowl of ramen noodle soup.
Oh, exactly. We've got a perfect example here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go swimming. Oh, how exciting.
Very nice. As always, we are on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can listen on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Google. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.